So close.
Almost.
So close. So close. Oh.
Yeah, I remember when, because you brought up like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and things like that. That was a big thing when I was in school. Like, people use that as a flex. Like, oh, I can do Guitar Hero on like expert mode and get like 100 on this song. And I just think, cool. I could play that song on probably easy and complete it.
I was like, I can watch you do that and not understand what I'm watching, but I'll enjoy the music.
Yeah. Because they had a lot of like,
that's, you know,
yeah.
That's 90% of life. Just smile politely and you'll make it through.
And I understood it because you just show up for life.
Honestly, that's a lesson I've learned recently. Is nobody cares what you actually do. So long as they see you doing something, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I will say, though, that what made those games great was the music that they were allowed to license and put in their games.
Well, and there's a lot of, like, I think Aerosmith made more money off of Rock Band than they did selling music.
That's not surprising. And not to say, like, their music is terrible, but the fact that Rock Band or even Guitar Hero, they were hugely popular games when they came out.
Well, and it was also, I think, the way that the licensing worked on it worked in their favor more than, you know, record companies and things. So,
Record? Really? Record companies? Come on, they're always
the
have the
greatest.
interest at mind.
Yeah. I mean, you never hear the horror stories of artists getting signed to record companies and then being shelved and never being allowed to create music.
And I've seen them on TikTok, and I think they do a podcast. I've just seen people talk about it, and it's like people who, it's like radio DJs talking about how they can help musicians and stuff like that. And they're talking to people in the industry, and one of the things that was really shocking to me was the people who work for the record label will give musicians and artists anything that they want, but they keep a tally of all of it and charge them for it. So they're like, oh, hey, you need like 3 aspirin. Great, we're going to charge you for that. Oh, you want these things for your album? Yeah, we'll never tell you
service.
No. Like, we'll never tell you no. But we're going to charge you for every bit of it.
But you'll be charged for it later.
And then you'll owe us money. Well, and like I knew the Ticketmaster
See if I can
stuff.
do expert.
I knew the Ticketmaster stuff was ridiculous, but they also take a percentage of merch sales.
Wow.
Ah!
Not quite.
Nope.
Yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind, kids. Somebody's doing business, they're probably trying to take everything they can from you.
Unless you find the miracle
like
unicorn who doesn't do
they're
that.
such a great friend to you. They're doing you a favor.
Doing you a favor. Especially if insurance is involved. Ooh.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of interesting seeing how times are changing, because back in the days of like Metallica or
times they are changing.
But like back in the days where bands didn't have the internet to get awareness, where all they had was going to like bars or venues and things like that, and then you got signed with record companies, where now if someone wants their music out there, they could just post it onto like a TikTok video or YouTube or whatever, and get awareness that way.
That was the great dream of the internet, was going to democratize everything again.
And perhaps in some cases that's true.
I mean,
But in other cases, not so much.
there's a lot of it that's been taken over by big corporate interests. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate you very much. But it's just...
We're not
it's,
calling you out specifically.
Where can we put an ad on this page? There's a little white space here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your webpage to load? Oh, good
No.
luck.
Good luck.
We gotta load the ads first.
Yeah. Oh, you want
So
an
where's
ad
the
blocker on your
recipe
page?
websites?
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's really
If you ever
more...
want to find a recipe, wait
It's-
5 minutes for the page to load.
Well, and then read through somebody's life story.
Before you get to the recipe.
And everything always has to explain to you what you're there for. Oh, do you know what a chimichanga is? Well, let me give you the history of a chimichanga. It's not, no, I want a recipe for a chimichanga. I'm hungry now.
I don't want to be hungry and read your life story.
I'm just curious, do you really need a recipe for a chimichanga, or is that just something you inherently know?
Well, I mean, there's multiple levels of chimichanga.
Chimichanga?
Greatness.
Chungus, chimichangus?
How chung can you chungness?
Anyway.
However these videos get cut up, it's...
If
We
you
have
don't know
great
what's going
names.
on, we were talking about internet companies, and now we're talking about chimichangas, so...
Yeah.
Chimichangas.
We have
Which
great
we should
options
be.
for names.
The Chungus Among Us, which is more entertaining than, you know, complaining about corporate interests.
But is it though? Because you always have those people who search out that drama.
I don't know. Comment below. Do you want us to talk about more drama? Or do you want us to talk about more chimichangas? Or, pales in comparison, how much you love cheese? Because we all know how much you love cheese. So much that I knocked
love it
my
a lot.
microphone off the...
Oh, Nugget just got an S rank!
Just for
Living it
sweet.
up!
Well, this one only has standard. Okay. Bum 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 ba da ba dum.
Nugget's also flown by these songs while we're just chatting in the background about
I mean,
random
yeah.
stuff, which is usually what happens, but
honestly, I've been enjoying this more than some of the mainline games we've played. Which actually
Yeah.
is true of only one, because it's just Control. I have no idea what happened in Control. And I'm going to complain about it as much as
Yeah.
Feathers complains about my squeaky chair. So,
it's really just because I think I hear it in every single video as I'm cleaning up audio. It's like, oh, there's a chair. Loki readjusted. He leaned back. There's a squeaky chair.
see, when it impacts my life, then I'm very aware of it and I actually do something about it. But
Yeah.
when it impacts somebody else, it's like,
Whoops.
not my problem.
Yeah.
So, if I'm editing my own audio or I'm recording my own audio, I'm like, I can't move. Otherwise, it's going to...
I know, right? If you were the one that was doing all the cleanup and whatnot,
To be
it
fair,
would
I
matter
don't...
then, wouldn't it?
The stuff that I end up cleaning up is not like, hour-long recording where it's like, I couldn't not move over the course of a full recording session.
I'm just surprised you haven't put in, like, I don't know, WD-40.
Still going.
I have no idea where the squeak is coming from.
Oh, that's so random.
I have almost bathed this chair in lubricant and it still makes
Just-
noise.
Dip it in a 50-gallon vat of oil.
of lard.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just buy an actual decent chair instead of whatever cheap recommendation I can find. It's gonna be like, you know what? I got a spare couple of $1,000 laying around. Might as well buy a
nice
Herman Miller chair.
Right. Well, I thought that you were going to get a better chair anyway, but then you found a fix. Like a part came and you were allowed to fix it, and then
Well, it's
you said,
'cause
screw it.
The hydraulic, it like died really early in this chair, and I just bought a clamp so that it doesn't drop when I'm sitting in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can live with it for a little while longer. Because that's the true life lesson of getting old, is you just learn to live with garbage. Like,
My thought
this
with a
part of
lot
my
of
body
things,
hurts. Yeah, that's gonna be that way for a bit, I guess.
Yeah. My thought with a lot of, I guess, expendable items is if it still works, I'm still using it.
Do you consider an office chair expendable?
I do consider an office chair expendable.
If every time you sit in it, it randomly just lowers slowly or drops suddenly, it's probably time to replace your office chair.
I probably should replace my office chair because it has no butt pad. So, like, anytime you sit in it, like, for long periods of time, your butt starts hurting. But at the same time, I'm just like...
Eat more chimichangas, take your butt pad with you everywhere.
You just gain a booty so big that it acts as your own seat. Like a
the way
donut.
God intended it.
Yeah, the way God intended it. Like those donuts that you have to get if you ever have, like, butt surgery or, I guess, like, lower back surgery.
Or a baby, or, you know, anything where you need to sit on a hole.
Yeah. But just basically, you just eat so many chimichangas, you're your own walking donut.
So, speaking of minor annoyances that could need to be fixed, but I probably won't ever fix.
Right.
I discovered an amazing thing today. My side view mirror on my car is actually broken. Like somebody's bumped into it and it's broken and they just put it back into place. Because I had a fairly long drive today, and
Like it just
the
happened?
mirror just like it just jiggled. Like I just noticed it today because usually when I'm just like I don't drive very far in my regular life. Like, you know, it's around town, not high speeds, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I was on the freeway going freeway speeds and it was jiggling and it was like reflective jiggle right in my face because it's the mirror that's reflecting into my so I can see. I'm just like I'm gonna crash because I'm so distracted by the fact that this mirror is jiggling.
Yeah.
So I was like, I should probably get that fixed. And I was like, oh, I'll just readjust it so it doesn't jiggle, and it didn't jiggle.
JB Weld.
But yeah.
During my time working in retail, I don't know exactly how it happened. I don't know. But there was, at one point, electrical tape that was holding the cap for my mirror to the mirror itself. That was protecting all the wiring and whatnot. Well, I guess one day, like, the cap just fell off. Don't know where it went, didn't know what happened. But for the longest time, I was just like, it's not that important. I don't need to replace my side mirrors.
Oh. I will just say, there's an amazing person in my life. He's been in all of our lives. We all know who this person is.
Is it
they
God?
look like me, but they're older. Entire bumper was held on by gaff tape for years. And there would be times when he would pull over and just readjust the tape that was on there, not put a new strip on, just like re-stick the old one so that it would stop falling off.
Right.
So, and there was a bit more to it. It was a custom paint job, and it was like a bigger deal to, you know, try and fix and all that fun stuff. But it was still like, this is dangerous.
Well,
but, you know.
But didn't he eventually get it, like, replaced or fixed or something?
I think eventually he crashed the car.
Oh, okay.
Problem solved.
Hey, the choice is taken right out of your hands at that point.
I don't know. All I know now is he drives a different vehicle. I don't know the details because I don't care to know the details.
You're right.
Because sometimes you're the bumper that's falling off, and sometimes you're the gaff tape holding it on.
What do you want to be in life?
What do you want to be in life?
How about neither? I don't want to be the one that almost falls off of a car. I just want to be the
Loki's
safely.
words of wisdoms. It's not wisdom, it's wisdoms. And in all fairness to this person, there are things in my life that I have had those exact situations, like my mirror right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a while. Or the fact that I've had replacement door handles for my wife's car for like 6 months, and they're just sitting on my counter and not replaced in her car.
Or perhaps her whole car
So-
in general.
I mean, that's kind of why I haven't done it. I don't want to, let the
hoping it'll
cat out of
just-
the bag too much, but I'm hoping the car goes away, because to be honest, the door handles cost more than the car's worth at this point.
But what's unfortunate is the cost of doing like any used car at this point. I don't think it's worth it.
I think they've come down quite a bit recently, but also, I think we've got one more year and we can technically get a classic car license plate. I'll never have to register it again.
Oh, okay.